Hello, beautiful souls. This is going to be a collective reading for the week of March 25th, 2024. Okay, so we just had a full moon lunar eclipse basically at like midnight. So it's like yesterday, today, so 24th, 25th. So I'm going to go over just some few notes from that collective reading because I feel like this is going to be pushing us forward with this full moon energy, with this eclipse energy as we move into this week. I'm not an astrologist, so I'm purely reading energy and things like that and very basic commonly known things about the astrological events. Okay. So there's definitely a lot of fated changes releasing with this full moon. Some of it can be big endings, full circle moments. And there's an emphasis on setting boundaries and like really working with your connections to other people, the way that you relate to others, how much access they have to you. Maybe you're setting boundaries with people to protect yourself more and protect your energy. That's a huge thing. I have like a whole little like mini workshop ritual situation that you can also find on my page that goes into depth with like how to use that energy of setting boundaries. So I only pulled one card so far for this week, and it was transformation. So I love this because it's just like I've been saying with this energy of the eclipse, of the full moon, of just this time, it just feels so expansive. It also can feel a little challenging, with change, can be discomfort. It's like change isn't always the most comfortable thing in the world. Growth isn't always the most comfortable thing in the world. I'm sure you can recall like when you were a child and you had like what's called growing pains, where your body's like growing so rapidly that it actually hurts. And I think that that's a really good example of like how transformation can feel to us and our bodies as we are spiritually growing, as we're growing as humans in this lifetime. So let's look a little bit more. We have a heavy transformative energy. So this is beautiful and incredible and amazing. And I just want you to remember that sometimes the journey of transformation isn't always the easiest path, but it is the one that's the most worth it. Okay, so we have movement. To me, the energy of this is like we're moving away from conflict, and not in a sense of like avoidance, but I think we're kind of putting things to rest. If there's been an area of our life or a particular person or connection, because our relationships are kind of highlighted right now too. And if you're moving away from those challenging connections, it's kind of like you're not willing to keep knocking on the door if nobody's going to answer. You're not willing to keep having the conversations with somebody who's not going to meet you there. You're not willing to try to change somebody, right? It's kind of just like, I'm going to carry on. There's peace with this. So I want you to feel that if you're cutting ties or if you're setting boundaries, if you're moving away from conflict, this motion is taking you in the direction that is more authentic for you. Couple of things with this energy. I kind of feel like it might just feel uncomfortable to be decisive and clear. I feel like maybe a lot of us have used others to influence us. Oh, I have a couple turned around here. Others to influence us. This is weird because these two keep showing up together constantly over the last few days. So to me, what's being represented here is stepping away from our thinking mind, from trying to figure things out, from overthinking, trying to figure things out with our mind, and stepping into this space of stillness and receiving the information kind of on its own and naturally. So not forcing it. If you're like, I don't know what's next, I don't know what I need to do with this, wait, listen, take some deep breaths, do some meditation. It's not always going to be resolved with your thinking mind. So this is really just allowing us to like step away from the thinking, step away from the trying to figure it out, step into the feeling. What does it feel like? Can we leave space for things to just come in instead of us searching for them? That's what that energy is. And that feels like a really big theme. So I feel like just not chasing information and not forcing it and not pushing it, just kind of letting go, letting it be, letting it come to you is a really good way, I think, to describe it. We could be feeling a sense of our own power, but I also feel like there could be confusion on what we want. So maybe we have an idea of like where we want to go, but we don't know like what path we want to take, or because I don't necessarily feel like it's not that you don't know what you want at all, because I don't feel that. I feel like there's a good sense of knowing what you want. Maybe it's just like how to get there or the approach. I feel like there's some confusion of like where to focus the energy. So the energy just feels a little out of focus for what you're going after. So I think it'd be really good right now to focus in on what feels the most resonant for you, what feels the most authentic, what maybe even what's presenting itself, you know, again, with this energy of like not forcing and not thinking. There could be some surprises and maybe like a plan that we had, and plans changing because something else that is very aligned presents itself. So I think that's a lot of the reason why we need to leave space instead of like attaching to a particular outcome or figuring it out with the mind. So we love this. This is really good energy of just a reminder that any challenges that you're met with in life are usually there to help you grow, and usually there to help you get to the next level, and there to help you move into the next phase of your life. So a lot of people are talking about, you know, how eclipse season is really intense, or there could be some like fear mongering happening. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen it. But I feel like it's important to remember that change and growth is not always comfortable, but it always leads you to a better space. So really trusting that process, allowing yourself to feel, there's a lot of exhaustion in the air, right now too. I never ever nap, but today I napped and I was like, I woke up being like, what day is it? What year is it? Like, what is going on? So I feel like a lot of us are, needing a little bit of a reboot and recalibration. So take rest when you need it. This, I feel like some of us are going to experience like victory. And the way that that feels to me is like, maybe you've been involved in some situations that are like really unfair. This feels like kind of coming out on the other end. Maybe, justice itself. And it's not like getting even. I just think that things may be turning to work in your favor, especially where there was a lot of conflict before, or just struggle, especially when it comes to other people. So take that however you will. I don't want to sit here and say like somebody who hurt you is going to get what they deserve. It's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. You could be getting an apology, or closure. Something like that, kind of fits in alignment with this. Whether that's from a person that you had conflict with, or something external, I feel like there's something here that's going to be very, bring a lot of closure. We could be feeling a little ungrounded. We could be feeling a little bit like, woe is me. Okay, so I think allow yourself to feel the fullest expression of the emotions that are arising for you, but understand that like all of the emotions that you feel every day, they're not always yours. They're not always something you have to fully identify with, and something you have to be like, this sadness is all mine. You can be feeling the sadness of the world. You could be feeling the sadness of a past version of yourself. Just leave space. That we don't have to attach to these heavy emotions. We can just let them, witness them, and then let them move past. So I think that's an important thing, especially as we move forward with this week. Just allow yourself space. This feels, to sum it up, it feels like a lot of letting things be and not forcing, a lot of receiving and not chasing, a lot of letting things come to us versus like thinking about them. Leaving space to receive divine messages, leaving space to receive clarity. It kind of feels like hopping in the passenger seat. Maybe you still get to pick the destination, but they're like, you don't need to drive right now, okay? So I hope this helps. Let me know if this resonates. You can come back at the end of the week and let me know. But take care of yourself. If you haven't taken or watched my collective reading and ritual for the full moon and eclipse, I highly recommend it. It's a really beautiful practice. You could do this practice at any time, but I think it's also very important to talk about doing that now and utilize this energy this week. So love you all, and I will see you again next week.